Nothing is safe. Olbermann reveals disgusting plan to overthrow Trump family. Keith Olbermann is not finished feeding the rumor machine. In a video posted on Twitter Wednesday, the far-left pundit called for the immediate arrest of Jared Kushner. Olbermann, along with many other liberal media members, are acting on last week's rumors that Kushner had entertained the idea of setting up a secret line of communication between the Kremlin and President Trump's transition team. But the former MSNBC host has now set his sights on forcing the rumor to be true. Shouldn't Jared Kushner be arrested? The resistance with Keith Olbermann. Is this guy for real? Listen to this. Listen to this freak.
I'm Keith Olbermann, and this is The Resistance. I call for the immediate arrest of Jared Kushner. If he should not be suspected of money laundering, racketeering, and influence peddling, then he should be suspected of obstruction of justice and espionage, and possibly worse. There is no other option that can be reasonably entertained. 18 U.S. Code 794, Section A, gathering or delivering defense information to aid foreign government. Quote, whoever with intent or reason to believe that it is to be used to the injury of the United States or to the advantage of a foreign nation communicates, delivers, or transmits, or attempts to communicate, deliver, or transmit to any foreign government, or to any faction or party or military or naval force within a foreign country, either directly or indirectly, information relating to the national defense shall be punished by death or by imprisonment for any term of years or for life. This is from the Espionage Act. Arrest Kushner now. The rest of that statute limits use of the death penalty to the exposure of the identities of American agents or defense plans or communications intelligence.
Another liberal.
The Russian ambassador to the United States reportedly told his superiors that on December 1st or 2nd of last year in the building on Fifth Avenue in New York City called Trump Tower, that Jared Kushner proposed using Russian communication facilities in a Russian embassy or a Russian consulate to contact the Kremlin directly to make certain the lawful government of the United States could not prevent, interfere with, or know of those communications. Arrest Kushner now. The proposal was so startling, so unprecedented, that even the ambassador, Sergei Kislyak, quote, reportedly was taken aback, according to the Washington Post. The New York Times printed the Kushner side's cover story. This was a means by which Kushner could get information from the Russians about Syria. The cover story given to the Associated Press was that this was all for Michael Flynn's opportunity to talk directly to Russian military leaders about Syria. Having already twice chosen not to mention his meetings with Russians on the SF-86 forms he swore under oath in order to gain his security clearance, Kushner was reportedly himself willing to enter, or willing to have other Trump transition officials enter, diplomatic facilities which have privileged legal status within the United States and talk directly to officials of the Russian government. Even if this Syria excuse is somehow true, Kushner was still intending to communicate with a foreign nation, a foreign enemy nation, about a second foreign nation, a second foreign enemy nation. And he would not have been asking about the Russians' assessment of the weather in Syria. This would have pertained to Russian military involvement there and could likely have delivered, quote, either directly or indirectly, information relating to the national defense. The Syria excuse could still be espionage. Arrest Kushner now.
Let's arrest you now.
If the Syria excuse is not true, the banking story may be true. The Reuters news agency, quoting 7 current and former U.S. officials, reported Kushner had a minimum of 3 previously undisclosed contacts with Ambassador Kislyak during and after.
And nobody talks about Hillary's involvement with the Russians. Nobody talks about Podesta's involvement with the Russians. Maxine Waters' involvement with the Russians, yet they're attacking this. The White House has been bugged The White House has been bugged. Of course they're going to seek, and they say it's normal procedure. Hillary had all the wires changed in the White House when Bill Clinton was elected. I mean, this is like totally ridiculous.
After the presidential campaign. It cited one current U.S. law enforcement official in reporting, quote, FBI investigators are examining whether Russians suggested to Kushner or other Trump aides that relaxing economic sanctions would allow Russian banks to offer financing to people with ties to Trump. NBC and the New York Times are reporting Kushner met last December with a Russian banker named Gorkov. And Gorkov's bank is the Russian government's National Development Bank. And Gorkov graduated from the academy that trains the Russian intelligence personnel, and that our intelligence personnel consider Gorkov a, quote, Putin crony. CNN is reporting the Russian government officials even claim to have, quote, derogatory financial information to use against Trump and his staff during the election campaign. The banking story could be money laundering or racketeering and or influence peddling. And it ties together all too cynically with the renewal of EB-5 visas in this country, a renewal stuffed into page 734 of House Bill 244, signed by Trump on the 5th of May, which offers permanent residence in this country to rich foreign investors who put money into things like American real estate projects.
Absolutely.
It ties together all too cynically with the impression that
absolutely,
the company,
because America is in financial straits right now, and Trump is trying to bring money in.
Chinese investors just 2 weeks before that if they bought into Kushner real estate deals in New Jersey, their immigration process could be expedited.
Sure, why not?
It further ties together all too cynically.
It's better than
news report.
It's better than having all the illegal immigrants from Mexico or wherever jumping over the fence, and the Muslims, and they have like 5 wives and they're collecting welfare. Oh, we should open the door for them, but top businessmen we should leave out, right? We should leave out the money coming into America. How do you expect to have jobs otherwise? These people are sick.
That when word spread that the FBI investigation of Trump had expanded from potential electoral collusion to finances and investments, Kushner became a, quote, prominent voice advocating the firing of James Comey.
Of course. He's compromised.
What that prominent voice was advocating might reasonably be considered obstruction of justice. Arrest Kushner now.
I think he has it backwards. Arrest Hillary now.
And if the Syria excuse, which could still be espionage, is not true, and if the banking story, which could be money laundering or racketeering or and obstruction of justice, is not true, what is left? For what other evil purpose did Jared Kushner want a covert, secure means of
same as Obama
spy-tested communication to the Kremlin?
Because Obama has the place rigged.
In which his father-in-law encouraged Russians to hack into the computers of his electoral opponent. Why would Jared Kushner want to go inside the Russian embassy or the Russian consulate, the centers of Russian espionage in this country?
Because our country has been compromised through the years, through Obama, through the Muslim Brotherhood, and they have bugged the White House.
After an election about which the Russians would boast of their influence, why would Jared Kushner need means to avoid the detection of the government of the United States? After the direct evidence of contact between his father-in-law's campaign and Ambassador Kislyak throughout 2016, why would Jared Kushner want to keep his contact with the Kremlin secret from the intelligence services of the United States?
Because it's been compromised.
After mounting circumstantial evidence of collusion between his father-in-law's campaign and the government of Russia, what would make Jared Kushner be willing to tempt prosecution under the Espionage Act to avoid his contact with Russia becoming known to the President of the United States? Arrest Kushner now.
Let's get the straitjacket for this one. He needs a mental institution.
Not just into the White House. He brings us both figuratively and literally to the door of the Oval Office. Inside that door there are people who appear not to understand why they are not permitted to break the law when they think it's a good idea to do so. Inside that door, there are people for whom running this nation is not a solemn and merely religious responsibility, but an opportunity for wins and power and financial corruption. Inside that door, there's a man in charge who has never been stopped by rules and has never been held accountable when he breaks those rules.
Really?
These people do not believe in the law.
Does Hillary?
They do not believe in patriotism.
Does Obama?
They do not believe in the United States of America.
Really?
These people, Kushner, his wife, Trump, General Allen, General McMaster, General Flynn, the others, are in their souls, if not under the law, traitors to this country.
You're a traitor to the country. You, Hillary, Obama, and the rest of you cronies. I can't take this. I really can't. This is like, this guy is like really off the wall. If he should not be suspected of money laundering, racketeering, and influence peddling, then he should be suspected of obstruction of justice and espionage, and possibly worse, Olbermann said. There is no other option that can be reasonably entertained. But Olbermann's claims were quickly debunked by White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer, stating plainly that any proof is simply unsubstantiated. Your question assumes a lot of facts that are not substantiated by anything but anonymous sources that are being leaked out. Unsurprisingly, that wasn't enough for Olbermann. The GQ host continued to slam other members of President Trump's family and administration. Kushner, his wife, Trump, General Allen, General McMaster, General Flynn, the others are in their souls, if not under the law, traitors to this country. Really. The liberal elitist went forward with his tirade, citing 18 U.S. Code 794, which says that anyone convicted of violating such federal law shall be punishable by death or by imprisonment or any term of years or for life. Olbermann must be ignoring the fact that justice requires proof. If he truly thinks that these people do not believe in the United States of America, then he needs to decide which America he wants to live in. Does he want this country's future to be determined by rumor? Or does he want the real truth when it comes to real issues? If you know the right answer to that question, it's time to share it. President Trump's voters can be louder than one talking head, and we will be if this slander continues. Absolutely. Absolutely. And first of all, why would Trump and Kushner doesn't care for America? They have all their money here. They have so much money here. If they're not protecting America, who is? The Muslims coming here that have 5 wives that send money to other countries to support 20 children? Really? No. These liberals, they have to this has to end with these liberals talking bull. Either they come up with facts or that's it. Where was all this this when Hillary and Obama were doing wicked things? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.